Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. Now get ready for
T
liftoff.
minus
10,
10, 9,
9,
8,
8,
7,
7, 6,
6,
5,
5,
4,
4,
3.
3, 2,
Let's go.
1, 0. Ignition.
All aboard, folks. All
Liftoff.
aboard.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hats.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no name time.
On Vaughn Radio.
It's the show with no name.
Come on. Let's go. All right. Welcome. Welcome, show with no namers from all around the world. People who have a lust for learning. You know the song, I got a lust for life. I got a lust for life. This is Iggy Pop, and it's off the Train Spotting soundtrack. Well, you guys have a lust for learning. This is another way we can learn from songs. You know, we get the structure from the song, and then we personalize it. You know, Bruno Mars. Today I don't feel like doing anything. Well, I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like sleeping. I don't feel like fill in the blank. But you got the structure from Bruno Mars. And in this case, Iggy Pop. So you know the song, I got a lust for life. Great song if you don't know it. Okay, una sed. Un deseo. Right? Lust, when we talk about lust between people, we talk about lujuria. Is that how you say it? Sexual desire. So lusting for something is to really desire it. To be thirsty, to be hungry, as we say. We're already playing with words, having fun with the language. You can expect a lot of challenges up ahead. As always, a lot of interaction here on the show. We're going to use a lot of pop culture, humor, music. We've already looked at 2 songs in the first 2 minutes. So, and of course, all of your contributions day after day. So all I can say is 3 little words to you. Keep it up. All right, amigos, why don't we kick off with our first challenge? It is the Say What soundbite. Get up.
Say what?
All right. Say What soundbite here on the show with no name. Also, a quick reminder to all of my amigos who would like to practice their speaking on a weekly basis. You have got the question of the week. That's right, the question of the week, which is a section where you get to express yourself in English, and I can give you some feedback, give you some notes. And you're not just expressing yourself, aloud, as you should, but in front of your fellow students, which takes even more guts, más agallas. So I reserve this section for the strong, the brave, the courageous, the bold, audaz, who aren't ashamed of speaking. Because that's the only way to improve your speaking, honestly. I've had that question so many times too. What's the best way to improve my speaking? I'm like, speak more? Expose yourself to it more? So this way you've got it present in your mind. But we all know here on the show with no name that that's not enough just to listen. We need to vocalize. We need to say the structures aloud until they aren't foreign structures anymore. And that's the key. Until you've said, do you wanna so many times that you don't say, do you want, go. You don't make whatever you say people are so many times that you never ever say people is. All right? So the only way to practice and improve your speaking, I should say, is to practice. And this week, it's a really fun one. What was your favorite childhood snack? So here we get to talk about all kinds of textures and flavors, and also childhood. I know mine, but I'm not going to tell you until it comes up on Friday. So you've got until Thursday evening to send me your favorite childhood snack. And part 2 of that question, do you still enjoy that snack? Or have you outgrown it? Did you overdo it? Te pasaste? Because that happens sometimes. I used to love almonds. And I remember with my grandma, my Spanish grandma, mi abuela, we call her mama. I remember splitting almonds with her, right in where my dad was born, in the little village. And of course, one of the almonds would go to the pile and another one would go to my belly, and another one to the pile and another one to my belly. Well, nobody told me. I'm sure my grandma tried, but when you're 7 years old, you're like, I know everything. Don't tell me anything. In fact, when you're 5 years old, I can tell you think like that as well. And in the end, I was sick for 2 days. Like I was sick to my stomach, con un malestar, an upset stomach. I was nauseous, and I overdid it. And guess what? I don't mind almonds anymore if there are almonds on a dessert or in a dish or in a salad or something. But you won't see me eat too many of them. Lesson learned. Hey, sometimes we have to learn, como decimos en inglés, the hard way. So there's a snack I loved that I have outgrown. Now, pistachios and cashews, I think I've eaten about the equivalent there, and I haven't gotten sick of those yet. All right, but think back. What was your go-to snack when you were a kid? Do you still enjoy that snack? And if you know and you'd like to participate, you can send me a 1-minute voice note. You can record on your phone. You can send it to my work email address, which is aalonso@grupovon.com. Again, it's aalonso@grupovon.com. And we look forward to hearing from you. And you know what? A nice round of applause for Anix. She has already participated. I've got her answer ready to go in the file. I have a folder for each show, right? Una carpeta. And then I have files, archivos, in those folders. So that name that lyric, the say what soundbite, and when we do question of the week. So, Anix, you are in the folder for Friday. You are a part of the show already. I urge all of you to participate, especially because this is a fun one. I think we can have a lot of fun and take a trip down memory lane, como decimos, rememorar. All right, let's listen to our Say What soundbite. Now, this is our Say What soundbite, a section where you'll hear every accent under the sun, and in hopes of, training your ear, getting you used to not just my English, but all the kinds of English you're going to come across when you're out there in the real world. So, ladies and gentlemen, grab a pen and a piece of paper, and let's see what we can get out of the first listen of today's Say What soundbite. Here it is.
I hope I never have to live through last week as long as I live.
Would you like a Danish? Nice and fresh?
Get out of here. My breakfast is sitting right here. I got such agita.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. You're chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. All right, amigos. This book is the shit. If you haven't gotten your hands on it, I don't know what you're waiting for. It is our latest, greatest baby. And anybody who's ever written a book will know you spend enough time with it. I mean, how long are you pregnant for? 9 months? Is that it? 9 months? It's around 9 months. I know they do it by weeks, trimesters, but you catch my drift. Well, it takes longer than that to write a book. So same kind of okay. I'm not comparing it to carrying around a child on your person in your womb, ladies, and then giving birth to it. There's nothing that compares to that in the world, I can imagine. In fact, I don't want to imagine it. That's how amazing and hardcore it must be. But folks, all right, well, if you haven't gotten it, you can get it at Von Tienda. You can also get tons of other materials, such as the material we're going to look at in today's Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Get up, get up, get up. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Snap your fingers with me. Chascad, you say? Chascad? Chascad? All right, welcome to your daily pop quiz. Today we mean business. Vamos en serio with a book that I highly recommend, and even to somebody who doesn't consider themselves a business person, una persona de negocios. I think they're key things about communication, about presenting information, about getting any kind of job. It is really priceless information and really broken down in a beautiful way by my great friend Kyle Miller, the host of our daily show. It's like this show in many ways. As far as the challenges are concerned, definitely. I know Kyle, as far as Kyle, myself, and all of the Vaughn teachers, we are constantly challenging our students, or at least that's the idea, right? Putting you to the test and just making sure you guys know the stuff that we think you should know. Now, the book is broken down into 3 parts. You've got getting the job, doing business in English, and advanced business topics. So you've got the gamut, and it's available for under $20. Okay, so you get all of that stuff for under $20. It's got around 3 hours of useful audio with vocabulary you need to know, which we're going to listen to momentarily in our pop quiz. And it's even got videos. You can scan some QR codes. And Kyle, illustrates, along with myself and Fitz and all of the other volunteers, different scenarios. And I remember doing ones that were a lot of fun to shoot cuando los grabamos. And it was, what to do and what not to do in English and in general in a meeting, in a presentation, in a job interview. And Kyle typecast me, casi yo, as the bad employee. Now, I've got to say something. I love doing the role. It was so fun. I remember, I think one of them, I walk into the meeting really late. I'm like, hey guys, sorry I'm late. Lots of traffic. And I put my feet up on the desk. So I have to say, it's all stuff I wanted to do. But Kyle gave me a chance to do it. The book is called Business English. It's available again for $19.95. Definitely worth its weight in gold. I just shared the link with you also in our chat room. This way you can click on it and you can pick it up. We've also got other books such as Interviews in English. We've also got the Curso de Inglés Definitivo Business. So lots of options for our students who mean business. Let's give this a listen, and then you can rest assured I'll have a couple questions for you afterwards.
Finance and Investing, Translation List 4.
Los tipos de interés están creciendo lentamente.
Interest rates are slowly rising.
Somos un proveedor de servicios financieros diversificados.
We're a diversified financial services provider.
Tenemos tasas hipotecarias atractivas.
We have attractive mortgage rates.
El gasto de los consumidores ha aumentado.
Consumer spending has risen.
El Banco Nacional no ha hecho ningún comunicado todavía.
The National Bank hasn't made an announcement yet.
¿Sabes cuál es tu código SWIFT?
Do you know your SWIFT code?
Lo necesitarás para hacer transferencias internacionales.
You'll need it to make international transfers.
Me gustaría transferir dinero a la cuenta de mi hermano.
I'd like to transfer money to my brother's account.
Mi esposa y yo compartimos una cuenta.
My spouse and I share an account.
Mi madre insiste en ir a la sucursal.
My mother insists on going into the branch.
El problema es que cerramos todos los días a las 14 horas.
The problem is we close every day at 2 o'clock.
Bueno, abrimos hasta las 18 horas los jueves.
Well, we're open until 6 o'clock on Thursdays.
¿Tiene banca por internet? Ella.
Does she have internet banking?
Ni siquiera tiene ordenador.
She doesn't even have a computer.
Podría usar un cajero automático.
She could use the ATM machine.
¿Qué me dice de la banca por teléfono?
What about your telephone banking services?
¿Cuándo está disponible el servicio de atención al cliente?
When are the customer service representatives available?
Trabajan de 9 a 5.
They work from 9 to 5.
Hay un servicio de contestador automático disponible las 24 horas.
There's an automated answering service available 24 hours a day.
Facturaremos al proveedor por eso.
We'll build a supplier for that.
¿No recibiste la factura?
Didn't you receive the invoice?
¿Cuál es el tipo de cambio de hoy?
What's today's exchange rate?
Quiero saber cuál es el tipo de cambio de hoy.
I want to know what today's exchange rate is.
Los tipos de cambio han estado fluctuando mucho últimamente.
The exchange rate has been fluctuating a lot lately.
Tenemos nuestros propios asesores financieros.
We have our own financial advisors.
All right, my amigos. Really rich vocabulary in that. And that's just one little chapter, or one section of a chapter, I should say, from Kyle Miller's book, Business English. Again, everybody has a checking account, right? Everybody talks about tipos de interés, sucursal, facturar, facturación. So even if you're not running a business, these are words that I think anybody in any society, any adult in any society needs to know. So the first one is exactly that. I just said it, tipo de interés. Use it in context. Use it in your own context. This way I see that you haven't just gotten the word, but that you also know how to use it in the correct context and that you've personalized it. That's something we do here on the show all the time. Find how this word or expression that we come across or adjective applies to you according to your life situation. So maybe tipo de interés, you're talking about fijo, variable, depends. Nosotros lo hemos comprado, así que no hay tipo de interés. This is up to you, but the concept is tipo de interés. All right, that is number one. The second one is hacer comunicado. Okay, hacer un comunicado. It was said in the audio. Again, something that's not just used in business. No, mañana van a hacer un comunicado. El gobierno va a hacer un comunicado. I mean, this is something that we've heard, at least in Spanish and in English. Now, because I live in Spain, I've heard this tons of times. El otro va a hacer un comunicado. Están esperando que haga un comunicado. Well, we need to know that one. Okay, cuando hay un accidente de aviación, whatever, a natural disaster, anything like that. Okay, and the third one, I think something we've all done as well. But this one is two parts, and it's because they're antonyms. I want to see if you know both. So it's sacar dinero e ingresar dinero. Okay, so sacar e ingresar dinero. And I mean, that's obvious. That's really easy to use those two in the same sentence. All right. So those are your three challenges in today's pop quiz. I think they're all very, very common. And we'll take a look at some of those words too, because, for example, the word tipo ahí, in the word tipo de interés, that is an extremely rich word. And if you were listening to the audio, you'll see it was used in many different ways. So we'll look at it in all its incarnations as well. So that's tipo de interés, hacer comunicado, number 2. And number 3, sacar o ingresar dinero. All right, those are your pop quiz challenges. Let's see who's with us in the house and ready to rock and roll. We've got Born to Iron Man checking in. What's up, Born to Iron Man? He says, sup, friends, sup, my amigo, sup, ¿qué pasa? What's up? And don't forget the head nod, right? The head nod is cuando movemos la cabeza hacia arriba, como mirar, ¿qué pasa, right? The head nod is part of the sup, but I'm sure you did it. Obviously, the technology isn't where I can see you, but thankfully, you can see me. You can see this show. You can listen to this show. There's no wrong way to learn English if you're having fun with us. There's Elena on board for a little bit of fun. And she says, good morning, show with no namers. Curious to see what's in the pipeline. So let's get the ball rolling. I know what's in the pipeline for you. A totally native or two. Haha, I'm a poet. and I didn't even know it. Let's see. Born to Iron Man says Iggy Pop had a lust for life, alegría de vivir, and we do have it for the show with no name. Let's rock it. No doubt about it. German says, good morning, guys. I've got a sour stomach thanks to sourdough bread. I love it. Playing with words. A sour stomach or an upset stomach, we can say. And sourdough, we looked at that recently. Sourdough is masa madre. Amigos, we've got to take a quick commercial break. Time is just flying by as we laugh and learn together here on the show with no name. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with no name. We are rocking and rolling through the morning here. Don't forget to stay tuned. We've got tons of amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio. As I said, Kyle Miller in Drive Time. But you can start your day with my other buddy, Rob Grams, in the Pro Bow Show. You can also catch Rob Grams with Andrea Vaughn, another friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, a friend of yours too, I imagine. And you can catch them every day on the Lunchtime Show here on Vaughn Radio. Have a cocktail with Chris Frank in Frankly Speaking. That's a perfect one because his voice, on the contrary to mine, is soothing. Te relaja. Mine gets you going, I think. I don't know. Does my voice relax you or does it, whoa, let's go? It's a little bit different. But that's the idea, folks. Everybody here is one of a kind, including you guys, our students. But we all have something in common. Going back to what I said at the beginning of the show, we have a lust for learning. Una sed. We're always thirsty for more. And we've got a lot in the pipeline, as our amiga Elena said. We're going to kick things off in this part of the show with our Say What soundbite. That'll be the second listen. And I see we've already got some comments coming in, so we'll check those out as well. After that, we'll check your pop quiz answers. Very practical English from my buddy Kyle Miller's book, Business English. Then we'll take a look at our news report. You're not going to believe today's news report. Man, I've seen some crazy things and heard some crazy things in my lifetime. But this is definitely one of a kind. Hablando de one of a kind. Totally original. Haven't heard anything like it in my life. We've also got homophones. We've got double trouble. Name that lyric. And famous birthdays. Man, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. And we're going to continue to laugh and learn. Even when this show is done, you can stay tuned and learn all day long. All right, let's hear our Say What soundbite for the second time. And today is not going to be as easy as yesterday. Yesterday, I think, was quite easy. The day before was hell on earth. And today, I think it's somewhere in the middle. All right, so hey, but that's life, isn't it? Isn't that how life works in general? All right, here it is for the second time.
I hope I never have to live through last week as long as I live.
Would you like a Danish? Nice and fresh?
Get out of here. My breakfast is sitting right here. I got such agita.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it.
but I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports, but I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit.
That's right, folks. This book is the shit. Get your hands on a copy. Un ejemplar, no una copia. Don't pirate it, please, guys. I mean, it's not that I make a lot of money off it, but you get what I'm saying. You know, everybody complains that AI is taking over. Well, you know, if people are willing to accept this as a substitute, now I'm not saying it can't help us. I'm just saying, if I go to a doctor, I don't mind if the doctor uses AI, right? But I want the doctor. I don't mind if the teacher uses AI to help prepare the classes, to help, come up with a study plan, all of that stuff. Why not? If you can get ideas, why not? There's no, take them. Okay. But I always feel that the real vehicle, the thing that brings it, that makes it jump off the page would be the human. Right now, not in all industries. Some industries you can, look at factories many years ago. Robots started, and these robot arms, these KUKA arms, as they're called, they're also used in the theme park industry. They took away a lot of jobs. Maybe I don't know how many per hour. I'm sure that math has been done. So this is nothing new. It's just finding a way to coexist with it, of course. I mean, it's supposed to be something to help us, right? Not to, destroy civilization as we know it. So there's that hot topic debate right now. I'm sure Rob Grams has brought it up on the Probo show, where he takes a look at hot takes, unpopular opinions. It's a great show because it keeps you up to date with current events. He's like, okay, this is what's happening. How do you guys feel about it? Let's vote. Let's talk about it, which is, I think, aside from the English learning, I think dialogue is what the world needs right now. Less finger pointing and saying, he's the enemy, she's the enemy. No, this one, the other one. This one's done. You offended me. I don't like what you did. I don't like the way you looked at me. I think we need to be coming together, not pushing each other away here. So turn off your TVs and stop subscribing to the mainstream media. That's my best advice. All right, let's take a look over here and see what we've got in our pop quiz. Some other good vocabulary I wanted to highlight. Branch. Well, that's a good word because if it makes sense. Think of it as a tree, because a branch es una rama. So if the tree is the company, well, a branch es una rama. Filial sucursal. It's a part of a bigger organization, right? So the visual is really easy there. And to branch out es diversificar. Piénsalo, ir abriendo sucursales, abriendo, right, nuevos caminos. To branch out. A ver cómo lo traducen. Yo lo diría así, ¿eh? To branch out, expandirse, diversificarse, expandir horizontes. Did you know that word? Well, it's not enough to just know the word branch. Okay, qué bien, sucursal. Pero ya que lo sabes, pues vamos a aprenderlo en profundidad, right? This way you really get the word and you get the idea behind the word. Because if you know branch and then you got the idea of, well, branch out is to grow more branches, right? That means to expand. And then it all makes sense. You don't have to think about it as much because you've already associated the idea in your head, right? I know it because I always do that in Spanish. ¿Y por qué lo dirían así? And a lot of times I just make it up. Me lo invento. Digo, a lo mejor porque tal. It could be the real etymology. Maybe it's not. Another one we looked at in there, which I think is really important to know, invoice. Another way you can say that too, a little bit easier, bill. Bill me at the end of the month, okay? Mándame una factura. We can use it as a verb. Invoice me at the end of the month. Okay, to bill or to invoice es el sustantivo y el verbo. All right, let's see. What else? Let's see where we left off in our comments and see if you guys figured out our pop quiz. There's Chris Valrol. She says, morning show with no namers. Morning, Chris. Wonderful to have you on board. There's Elena participating in our Say What soundbite. She says, an American woman who sounds stressed out about an issue. Worrying her has lost her appetite, has made her lose her appetite. So an issue worrying her, and she has, okay, I got it. An American woman who sounds stressed out about an issue, worrying her, comma, and has lost her appetite. All right, era por la falta. I didn't know where to pause there. So let me read it again. An American woman who sounds stressed out about an issue worrying her and has lost her appetite. Pondría una coma. It's no big deal, but that's why I couldn't read it right. So yes, absolutely. Yeah. Some good vocabulary in this one today. It's short and sweet, but we'll get some good vocab. And it's a classic, too. She's a classic, I should say. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol says, I heard an American man and a woman. I couldn't get the gist of it, but the man offers her something fresh to eat. Well, you got something. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, my sister has a fixed rate mortgage. All right, fixed rate. Tipo fijo. Okay. A fixed rate. Tipo fijo. And the word mortgage, vamos a pronunciarlo. Mortgage. Rima con bridge. Mortgage. Bridge. Mortgage. There's a mortgage on the bridge. All right, great job, Chris. They're going to issue a bankruptcy notice. All right, to issue a notice sounds to me like it's a written notice. Okay? So to issue a notice is correct, but again, it has the implication that it's written. They're going to issue a notice. Okay, it is correct, but it wasn't exactly the one I'm looking for. But good, at least we clear that up. All right, and let's see. She says, I withdrew money last week. I didn't put anything in. So to withdraw, una palabra. Every day I withdraw money or cash. Yesterday I withdrew cash. And lately I've withdrawn cash. All right, so withdraw is the verb. You can also say take out. I got to take out $50. Okay, take out or put in. Esos son los phrasal verbs. To take money out of the bank, to put money in the bank. You can also say to withdraw, para take out, and you can say deposit, para put in. So good job. Great. Uh-oh, Chris. Yeah, that's a dangerous one. I withdrew my money last week, but I didn't put anything in. Uh-oh. All right. And she says they're going to make an announcement. Yeah, that gives me the feeling that they're going to be saying it verbally. Okay. And they're going to issue a notice. Okay. Or they're going to make a statement. También se van a declarar. They're going to make a statement. They're going to make an announcement. You can say as well. Again, this is, I think, words that you should know. You should be familiar with them at least. All right. Let's see. Elena says the interest rate for my loan is fixed. Very good. So it's tipo de interés, interest rate. And man, that word rate, what a rich word. To rate is also valorar, tasar, right? They're going to rate the movie, and they rated it 4 stars. Lo oyes en muchos podcasts. If you haven't rated the podcast, give us a 5-star rating. So it's tasa, índice. The birth rate in Spain is going down, right? Rate is tarifa o precio. People ask me, Alberto, do you give classes? What's your rate? O sea, esto es una palabra tan rica, tan sumamente, con tantos usos y usos comunes. Tus honrarios, la tasa, índice, también el ritmo, right? How is that the fastest rate you can work? That means the fastest speed or pace. We already said evaluar. Also clasificar, right? All new films are rated in the United States. And if they're rated R, they're not for kids. If they're rated PG, then they're with parental guidance, right? Catalogar as well. So it's incredible. It really, y sigo. I'm scrolling down here. Rating, clasificación, ratings, índice de audiencia. You know, if you're on TV, you look at the ratings. Oh, their ratings are going down. So es las cifras de audiencia. So what a rich word that is. It's not just tipo de interés, interest rate, but honorarios y mucho más. Let's see, Elena, the next one. The CEO, remember, we don't say Theo. Theo is Spanish. We say the CEO, todo lo mismo que VIP, REM, BTW, OMG. Well, OMG, what do you say? The CEO will make a statement later on. Excellent job. And I need to withdraw some money from this cash point because my company has already deposited my salary. Wonderful job, ladies. Born to Iron Man. He says the current interest rate. Cuidado, Born to Iron Man y a todos, estaba buscando esto, a ver si le pasaba a alguien. So you were reading my mind here, Born to Iron Man. Remember, in English, it's not interés, it's interest. O sea, lleva una T, right? Also, am I interested in that interest rate? Igual que interesado, right? It doesn't interest me. Con T siempre. O sea, no existe la palabra interés en inglés sin una T al final. But good. Ahora lo sabes. Born to Iron Man. And I know you'll never make that mistake again because you are that kind of student. So the current interest rate in the EU is low. Good job. And let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope it stays that way. The next one, the European Central Bank made a statement. Okay? Made a statement. An statement. I think you're thinking of it in Spanish. An statement. So a statement about the merger of BBVA and Bank Sabadell. Excellent job. And the last one, it used to be par for the course to deposit and withdraw money in cash. Yeah, it's true. People aren't doing it as much anymore. It's strange. K Roller Girl says business English is a must. I enjoyed watching you as the blundered one. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. And she said, and I learned tons of amazing, useful stuff. Well, that's the idea. Having fun, laughing, and learning at the same time. All right, excellent job, everybody. And now it's time for today's news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right, my amigos, let's take a look at today's news report here on the show with no name. All right, I call this one Take a Slug at the Slug. That's right. Now, what is a slug? Do you know what a slug is? My daughter does. She loves these things. When it rains, we go take a walk and see if we can find some. Babosa, slug, yeah. Also, a slug is a bullet, una bala. But to slug somebody is to hit him in the face, to punch him, right? Man, I'm gonna slug you. It also means to take a drink, but like loudly, gulp, slug. It's that kind of idea as well. So, as I said, it's take a slug at a slug. Take a slug at a slug. O sea, dale un puñetazo, dale un golpe a una babosa. Well, in this neighborhood in Germany, they were having people ringing their doorbells in the middle of the night. Their buzzers, their doorbells. And so the police were called because, it happened a couple nights in a row. And it was really starting to piss people off, right? And when they got there, this was near the area Bavaria, which is, if I'm not mistaken, Munich area. But it happened to more than one neighbor. It happened on several occasions, so several different nights. So people thought it was young pranksters, right? They thought it was people who were, what's the word I'm looking for? Practical jokers, you know, having a laugh. Young kids, that's how they get their kicks, you know, causing strife, problemas, right? And so they thought, yeah, the kids will be kids, but, you know, we have had enough of this. We will not put up with this anymore. So, what happened was, as the police arrived, they noticed that when they checked the cameras, there was something that was obviously not triggering the light, because there was a light that would be triggered, you know, one of these motion sensors. And they were saying, what the? They're like, well, it's, you know, the kids would have triggered, impossible. And as they got closer, they saw that there was like some sticky stuff on the panel. And they were a bit baffled at first. And then as they looked further up at the top, there was a slug. That's right. The prankster was a slug that was crawling across the panels. And it triggered several doorbells in the process. To trigger is provocar, right? To trigger. So that's pretty crazy because, you know, I imagine at first they were thinking, oh, man, this sucks. We're going to be woken up every night by these kids. And you can imagine they all had a little laugh together. Not the slugs, the neighbors all had a laugh when they realized that they were being pranked. They were being tricked by those slimy slugs. And the word slimy, it's got another meaning as well, right? So slimy is something that's like, you know, viscoso, you would say in Spanish. Baboso, that's where you get the word baboso. But also it's somebody who's kind of fake, right? Slimy. I don't trust him. He's really slimy. All right, amigos, that is your news report. Did you know that the word babosa had so many meanings? Slug, as I said, to take a drink of something, to punch someone. the animal that comes out after it rains, and it's even a bullet. All right, amigos, before we hit our next commercial break, it's time for homophones.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. Show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. That's right. Welcome to our homophone section here on the show with no name. All right. This first word, just like that word slug and the word rate that we looked at, they have many, many meanings. So let's take a look. If you're familiar with the first one, I know you know it at least in one or two of its different meanings. The first one, vencer. So when something needs to be submitted or turned in, all right, entregado. It's also programado, so scheduled to happen, previsto, right? We also use it in the collocation debido a. So I think that's probably where you've been exposed to this. All right, and the second one is condensation. All right, condensation that forms, well, on a glass or on your window on a winter morning. You call it rocío condensación. All right, those are your words. Are you familiar with them? And do they sound the same or not? We'll take a look at that and much more in the second half of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Great to have you all on board for the second half of today's show. Let's see what we've got in store for you. We are going to listen to the Say What soundbite for the third time. Then we've got our homophones section. Today we'll also be taking a look at a new section called Real Reviews, one that just started recently, where we get people rating. Mira, hablando de la palabra de antes. We get people who are rating different experiences. And in the last episode, we took a look at a tourist trap, the London Eye. Today, we're taking a look at a pet shop. That's right. All that and so much more. In the fourth part, we'll take a look at our Name That Movie, Name That Lyric, and also Double Trouble. Can't forget about Double Trouble. Let's take a look at it. Double Trouble, it's a triple trouble. Okay, triple trouble. But you know what? Someone's going to get it. I think somebody will get it here today. What about our spelling bee? Spelling bee should be easy peasy, mac and cheesy. Or as my British friends say, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We say mac and cheesy. So many people participating too in our group. Great to see all your participation. We've got a lot of you participating in the homophone section. So we'll take a look at your answers right now. But here's your Say What soundbite. First, I'm going to give it to you for the third
I
time.
hope I never have to live through last week as long as I live.
Would you like a Danish? Nice and fresh.
Get out of here. My breakfast is sitting right here. I got such agita.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town.
That's right, folks. Vaughn Town. I think it's one of the things, along with Vaughn Radio, that put us on the map. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here for our homophones. All right, Elena is Elena is the first one to participate, and she gives us the two words correctly, and she says, I'd say they are homophones. Let's see. Chris Valrol agrees. Hey, there's Mariona. Hello, Mariona. Great to have you checking in with us. We miss you, but we know you're tuning in on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here, all my amigos, whether you join us for a quick pop by or whether you're here every day or whether you come, every other day. It doesn't matter. The idea is thanks for coming back. Thanks for laughing. And thanks for learning with everybody here at Vaughn Radio. Kyle, all of us, thanks for entrusting us with your English. And we promise that we will do our best, as always, to make sure that you have an advantage. You have an edge over other non-native English speakers, at least in Spain. Well, no, not really, because we've got listeners all over the world. So really, globally, anybody who needs to work in English, we'd love to help you. The greatest thing, I think, too, is not only that, Kyle's excellent and Fitz and all of these guys, but also it's free. I mean, imagine if Vaughn was around maybe 60, 70 years ago. Maybe our parents and grandparents' generations, maybe they'd speak better English than they did, right? And now we know that's changing with the young generation. They're playing in a different on a different level, really. All right. So these words are homophones according to some superstar students. All right. The first word is do. Do. That's right. So let's look at some examples because, as I said, it's a very rich word. So the rent is due. Se debe. Hay que pagar, right? Your library books are due after 2 weeks, right? Due. D-U-E. I know you've seen it in debido a. Your rent is due next week, and due to the strikes, debido a las huelgas, right? So do it. I've heard people say do it, so just make sure you don't say do it. Imagínate la palabra sin la E, que fuera solo D-U, right? Do. So the electricity bill is due by the end of the month. Hay que pagarlo, se vence, right? Also, we have a safety check next week for gas leaks, and that is due next Monday. Programado, right? Due. Previsto. The car is due to get its oil changed. Okay? Está previsto. Le toca. No, está programado. Le toca. It's the same idea behind vence. No, se va a vencer. Le toca. Ahora, as I said as well, debido a. Okay? And any other ones? Well, we know dues as well. Dues son, ¿cómo los llaman en español? I always forget that word. Dues con plural, a ver. We know, quota, that's the word. I've paid my dues time after time. I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. So there's another one, to pay your dues. Now, this can be pagar la cuota del gimnasio o lo que sea, but it can also be to do the things you need to do to get where you are, right? You don't just become the greatest surgeon in Spain. No naces el mejor cirujano de España. Right? You got to pay your dues. You got to work hard. You got to operate on a lot of people. It's the things you need to do to get where you're going, the necessary steps that it takes, right? So due process, debido proceso, due process. We talk about that when we talk about the law as well. So I'm scrolling down. In due course, my son, en su debido tiempo. Wow. It's past due. Está vencido. Those library books are past due. So, wow, you never thought that one syllable could be such a rich word. And the second one, dew. You probably know it from Mountain Dew. So, let's see. There's due this morning, okay? Se programa que hay, what's the word? Condensación. There's due this morning. Do they sound the same? Absolutely. Now, I will warn you, I've heard some people say due, okay? The same way I've heard people say news. Now, I don't. To me, it sounds a bit pedantic, right? It's due to the limitations, right? Due to. So it's not wrong. It just sounds weird to me. But you will hear some people pronounce both of these words due, okay? In the United States, generally not, right? Mountain Dew de toda la vida, right? And you know what Mountain Dew really means? It's hooch liquor, okay? Mountain Dew, ¿cómo lo llamáis? Licor ilegal, okay? Bebida alcohólica destilada ilegalmente, Mountain Dew. So it's got the literal, obviously, meaning of la condensación de la montaña, no? And also un licor ilegal. Now, we all know Mountain Dew doesn't have any liquor in it, but I think they use it as a mixer. very often. I don't know, because I gave up soft drinks. I figured soft drinks aren't doing anything to help me, not my teeth, not my body, not my, energy levels. So I decided to swear off, toma, expresión, to swear off sugary soft drinks. All right, so excellent job in our homophone section. Elena and Chris Valrol knocking it out of the park. All right, folks, now it's time for real reviews.
First of all, what went through my mind is how stupid am I to actually volunteer for this?
Real reviews.
Real reviews found online.
Real
It was unbelievably painful.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that's the gist of it over here. People talking about unbelievably painful experiences they had at all kinds of different shops. We've looked even at theme parks. So this week I decided we could take a look at a pet shop. Well, pet shop, let's clear it up here too. A pet shop, if I think of a pet shop, I think of estas tiendas donde tienen, they've got goldfish, you know what I mean? And you can buy lizards, these kind of, that's what I think of when I think of a pet shop. And then you've got pet supplies. Okay, and those have become very popular now over the years. Now, pet supply shops or pet supply stores, those are in American English, you can use them interchangeably. Those are usually these mega stores, where you can buy 10 kilos of kitty litter, right? The sand that you need for the litter there. So, I don't know. Pet shops in general, they get a bad rap. Tienen mala reputación. In fact, if you're thinking about buying a pet, I don't recommend you do it. I recommend you rescue or take in, acoger, one that's already, looking for a family and would, love to be loved. I know we've done that every time, and it hasn't failed. The animal, whether it's Kike, who's a cat, just is so thankful, so loving, and well, it just I think it increases the quality of your life, right? When you're surrounded by love, whether it's from pets, and those of you who have cats and dogs, you know that they are family members. I'm not exaggerating or overstating this, Oh, that's right, Kike. Kike, let me do the show, okay? Kike, down. Okay. Oh man. All right. Oh, Kike, please. I'm going to talk about pet shops. I know you're excited, but all right. Well, as I said, these are real. Oh, really? Oh, my goodness. These are real reviews that I find on the internet. Now, I usually don't say the name of the place because I'm not looking for any lawsuits, pleitos, or anything like that. But I always look in the United States. Well, London, I always look in an English-speaking country, and then I make sure that the review was written by a native person. And I can tell you that in a moment. In just one moment, I'm like, okay, got it. Okay. Or whether it was written by AI as well. So the first review, the person says, very disappointed, as I was expecting to have a small dog. So very disappointed, decepcionada. No es desapuntar. Te voy a desapuntar. Right? No. So very disappointed. So she was disappointed. The experience was disappointing. Para poner cada uno de esos adjetivos en su sitio. So very disappointed. She's talking about herself. As I was expecting to have a small dog. We bought what we thought was a purebred Yorkie. Okay. A Yorkshire Terrier, I imagine. And purebred de raza pura. It comes from the word breed. To breed is procrear, right? So if you breed animals, haces que procrean. So a purebred, bred is de raza pura, right? Criada pura, right? Just to get the idea behind it. So it was what she thought, she says. We bought what we thought was a purebred Yorkie for $900, 900 pavos. Supposedly, the mom and dad only weighed 7 pounds each. 7 pounds in kilos is 3.17 kilos. Okay. And then she goes on to say, well, my pup is another way of saying puppy, right? Pup. Another way we say dogs too is a pooch. That's right. Hey, pooch. P-O-O-C-H. Oh, he's a nice pooch. Just like a cat, you can call him a kitty. Hey, kitty. Hey, kitty cat. Right? It comes from the word kitten, like Hello Kitty, right? But we've been saying that before Hello Kitty was born. We've been saying, come here, kitty, 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 right? So these are words you'll always hear associated with household pets. Well, she says, well, my pup is 7 months old, and he weighs at least 15 pounds. Now, 15 pounds is 6.8 kilos. Those of you who didn't do the math, don't worry, I'll do it for you because it's quite easy. It's about double what the animal should weigh, according to what she was told. Again, I don't know very much about Yorkies or Yorkshire Terriers, as they're called, but basically, she was scammed. She was bamboozled. We've seen that word a lot recently, I guess because there are a lot of scammers out there. So she goes on to say, she finishes up saying, he doesn't look like a purebred either. He's definitely mixed with something. So she's accusing them of selling her a mutt, right? A mutt, or as the British say, a mongrel, is an animal that is not purebred, right? A mutt or a mongrel. And well, she said, I paid $900 for a purebred. And so she was, imagine that. Now, what do you do too? Because you can't just give back the animal. And really, you're going to get rid of the, so it puts you as the person in, as the owner in a difficult situation. But also, don't buy animals at pet shops. There you go. Okay, go to your local shelter, refugio, and the first one that looks at you like, I'm going to love you forever. Get that one. All right, and the next one, this is to look at some different vocabulary. Horrible grooming service. Horrible grooming service. Now, to groom is, if the animal does it, is acicalar, I think you say is the word. To groom is, but also to groom is to cut its nails, to trim its hair. And this is a big business, by the way, in the United States. I remember when I lived in Hollywood, they had, just like, you remember Dumb and Dumber? Well, just like that, they had a van and they would come around, they would park in front of your house and they would groom your dog while you were inside. You know, it was, I think they even gave the dog a martini. Okay, maybe not. But it was about that level of pampering. We've looked at that word too recently, right? De mimo. So she says, horrible, or he or she, I don't remember, horrible grooming service. I told them 3 times that I only wanted a trim, un recorte, un cortecillo. It's a very important word to know because you don't want them to cut your hair. You want them to trim your hair normally, right? So I told them 3 times I only wanted a trim and to not shave my dog completely. Right? To shave is afeitarle, dejarle a cero, right? To not shave my dog completely. And they shaved him anyway. Oh my God. These are big mistakes, guys. And so this person says, never going back to this place. If I could put 0 stars, I would. Hey, you know, that should be the name of a podcast. If I could put 0 stars, I would. I've seen that in many, many real reviews. I hope you enjoyed the section, and I hope you're ready for today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, amigos. We are going to look at today's spelling bee here on the show with no name. And as always, the spelling bee is a part of the show where we separate the men and women from the mice, and especially when it comes to round one. All right, as always, I'm going to spell some words for you, and we'll see if you can get these words on the first go. All right, here we go. Let's capitalize the first letter of every word for the sake of simplicity. The first one is Price space IS space RIGHT. The second one is MARK space GOODSON. The third one is BILL space TODMAN. The fourth is STUDIO space AUDIENCE. The fifth one is BOB space BARKER. And the last one is COME space ON space DOWN. There you go, my amigos. We'll see if you can get these words. If not, as you know, you will be hearing them again. But maybe this music will give you a little clue. A little clue. Well, the first one will give it away. If you get number one, then you know what we're talking about here. A very popular form of entertainment. In fact, it's never been more popular, I think. And it was really popular when I was a kid, too, this kind of show. All right, let's see. Looks like we might have a winner here on our hands in the winner's circle. All right, the first one is correct. Born to Iron Man. The second one is correct. The third is correct. The fourth one is correct. Fifth and sixth one. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your amigo Born to Iron Man. And he says, a jugar, el precio justo in Spain. Aha. I knew it was big. This was a phenomenon all over the whole world, I think. Right? Everyone in their own language. In English it was, or it still is, it's still on the air. The price is right. Okay? El precio es justo. We say es correcto. Es el correcto. Same idea. The price is right. And the expression is come on down. Come on down is a jugar. I remember watching that as a kid. You know what's funny now? Watching those, they have some on YouTube, and seeing the old school prices of things, you're like, oh shit, that was only that much? So it's pretty mind-blowing to see where inflation has gone. All right, excellent job, Born to Iron Man. Also, Chris Valrol and Elena. Do I sense a holy trinity? All right, amazing stuff, folks. All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to do round two. We've already got 3 students who got it on the first go. Wonderful job. Really excellent job. All right, here we go. Round two. I'll slow down considerably. The first one is PRICE space IS space RIGHT. The next one, MARK space GOODSON. The next one is BILL space TODMAN. The fourth one is STUDIO space AUDIENCE. The fifth one is BOB space BARKER. And the last one is COME space ON space DOWN. All right, we've got to head to a quick commercial break, amigos. I can't believe it. We're heading into the fourth. and final part of the show where we're going to take a look at our Double Trouble. We've got our Say What soundbite for the fourth time. We'll take a look at these words that had to do with The Price is Right. We've got Name That Movie. We've got jokes and much, much more up ahead. So you're not going to want to miss the last half hour of today's show. And then when this show's over, you've got much more in store. Programado. Folks, we'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. It is time for part 4 of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Stay tuned for all our amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio. All you have to do is download the free app, and you can take us with you everywhere. And as you know, many of our shows are interactive. It's not just this show. I think the ones that interact the most are the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy, Also, Kyle Miller is always asking for participation from his students. You won't get that on Richard Vaughn's show, but again, he's not interested in that. He's like, social what? No, leave me alone. We also use the expression, and I'm not saying he's old, but we say, because you can say it about a young guy who isn't as strong as he was, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Hey, we were looking at dogs today, right? In our real reviews, we took a look at a pet shop. And you know, there's the group, the Pet Shop Boys, as well. All right, amigos, as I said, today we've got a triple trouble. So I'm going to make you sweat a little bit. But I think it's nothing that you guys can't handle. So here it is, today's triple trouble.
Yeah. Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right. It is double trouble, triple trouble, I should say, here on the show with no name. All right, let's see what we've got. Esta industria es muy competitiva. Despiadada, you can say. Okay? Esta industria es muy competitiva / despiadada. Estoy cansadísimo. Estoy agotado. Okay? There you go. You've got to use the same word 3 times. Whoa. I think you can handle it, though. I'm exaggerating a little bit. In fact, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to give anything away. I want to let you guys figure it out on your own. All right, so esta industria es muy competitiva / despiadada. Estoy cansadísimo. Estoy agotado. All right, that's your triple trouble. Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite for the 4th time. Also, give it up for Elena. Elena got it. Elena got the Say What soundbite after the 3rd listen. So great job. There's one little thing at the end. You got the right idea, but we'll take a look at the nuance at the end. But excellent job, Elena, in our Say What soundbite. Let's see if anybody else can get it. Here it is for the final time.
I hope I never have to live through last week as long as I live.
Would you like a Danish? Nice and fresh.
Get out of here. My breakfast is sitting right here. I got such agita.
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Brilliant. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Oxford Test of English, and you can get it done at any of our Vaughan centers in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. Stop by for a free level test, and we can at least lead you in the right direction. All right, let's see if anybody got the triple trouble over here. fire. We've got Elena. Elena, you are on fire. Let's see. The industry, or this industry, pardon me, is dog eat dog. I am dog tired. Yes. Wow. This industry is dog eat dog. I am dog tired. Great job. To be dog tired means no puedes más. It's not tired. It's lo siguiente, as you say in Spanish. And dog eat dog es que el perro se come a perro aquí. Aquí uno come al otro si tiene que comerlo para sobrevivir. O sea, el canibalismo, piénsalo así. Dog eat dog. Está aquí el perro come al otro perro si hace falta. So the industry is dog eat dog. I'm dog tired. Elena, you knocked it out of the freaking park. Excellent job. The only one says, hi, I'm new here and I'd like to subscribe to your Patreon, but I can't find you. Well, firstly, thank you very much for your interest, but I closed after 4 years of doing Patreon. I closed down the channel. It was for several reasons, but reason number one, Patreon sucks as a platform. I know that I had more. They were supposed to, basically, I'll sum it up in a sentence, but there were other reasons as well. My workload, mi carga de trabajo, but also if you're taking a percentage of, what I'm supposed to be making, you're not supposed to complicate things for my students. You're supposed to make things easier for them, right? You're not supposed to give them the runaround, darle largas, because then I'm asking, why are you taking 30%? You're supposed to make things easier, agilizar. And I'm not the only one who feels like Patreon is a mess. Maybe they got their shit together now, but man, I'm glad that I built a community with hundreds of students. And it was a sad day when I decided to close it, but also I regret giving Patreon so much money. And so much, it wasn't a lot, but 30%, whatever it was a big chunk of whatever I was making. And again, they only gave me problems. So F you, Patreon. And if anybody's thinking of being a content creator on Patreon, don't do it. Don't do it. And also scheduling reasons. So I closed it down. And who knows, in the future, there are other similar platforms. But right now, that's not the direction I'm moving in professionally. But thank you for your interest. And you can still subscribe to FYI, the podcast for your English, because that is still on all the podcast platforms. In fact, I keep paying for the hosting, porque hay que pagar para tenerlo ahí. They hosted, I don't know if you know how it works. And you have to, depending on how much content you have there and how much you upload every month, well, you have to pay a certain fee, right? A certain rate, honorario, tasa, right? So, all right, let's see. So thanks, the only one. German says, we've been dogged, guys. Elena is the boss today. Elena's on it. She says, ha, ha, ha. Double A was giving us hints all along. Elena, you caught me. Me has pillado. Yes, I was dropping hints. We went to the pet shop. I played the dog barking. I try to lead the way a little bit and say, well, vamos a ir por aquí. Ve preparando esto. So, yes, you know me. I love dropping hints. And I'm sure there are some other hints and clues along the way. All right, let's look at our spelling bee also really quickly over here. Our spelling bee, as I said, had to do with The Price is Right. And man, what a show. Long live game shows. I mean, game shows, it's like the show with no name a little bit, right? You can watch it, but you can interact with it too. Even if they don't hear you, you're like, Jeopardy. What is the Berlin Wall? The Berlin Wall, say it. And as we say, we're all armchair quarterbacks. Quarterback is del fútbol americano, el que juega. And an armchair es que estás ahí en tu sillón diciendo, tienes que correr. Yeah. I would have scored that goal. Yeah, you're not Messi. You wouldn't even have the opportunity to get on that field. Right? So, quite interesting. But I love playing along with game shows. And that's a good way to learn English, too. You can watch some English or American game shows. And I know the talent ones are really popular. I got to say, I like the ones where they have like stunts and things like that. No, I think como, The Floor is Lava. Have you seen that one? Well, it's a game we all played when we were kids, and they made it into a game show. It's awesome. All right, so The Price is Right. Well, it premiered today in 1972. Were any of you alive yet? I wasn't. I was -5. So 1972, it premiered on the CBS network in the United States, and it is currently the longest running game show on American television because it's still airing after all these years. And let's take a look at the other words I gave you. So The Price is Right. That's the name of it. The creators were two guys named Mark Goodson, right? En ese caso no es Goodson, sino Goodson. No, like Simpson, no es Simpson, Sin. Suena más como pecado cuando viene en un apellido. Jessica Simpson, Ashley Simpson, okay? So Mark Goodson and Bill Todman, that was number 3. Studio audience. It had a studio audience. It continues to have a studio audience. Un público en el estudio. Okay? Just careful with the pronunciation. No, audience, audience. Awesome. Number 5, Bob Barker. He was the legendary host who was kind of creepy, kind of slimy. The word we looked at before, like, hi, lady. He was flirting with the ladies a little bit too much. Now, again, it was the 1970s. He was also smoking a cigarette, and they were different times, So Bob Barker, and the catchphrase that they still use to this day, la frase coletilla, I think you say, is "Come on down." Come on down, bájate, which is your Spanish, a jugar. All right, amigos, we have got to move on, though. We're going to one of our favorite places. I know you love this place as much as I do. I'm talking about the movies. Name that movie. Yeah, that's right. It's Name That Movie here on the show with no name. All right, let's see if you recognize the premise of this movie. This is probably one of the greatest movies based on one of the greatest books. Oh, that doesn't rule many movies out, does it? Well, many movies are based on books. All right, well, let's see if you get it based on the premise here. A rebellious convict is sent to a psychiatric hospital for evaluation in 1963 Oregon and encourages his docile companions to take more control of their lives and defy the tyrannical head nurse. Vamos por partes. So a rebellious convict, a prisoner, que rebela, is sent to a psychiatric hospital. Okay, I think that's simple. Acuérdate, psychiatric in inglés, P-S-Y-C-H, psych, de mente, for evaluation. And this is in 1963 in Oregon. And he encourages, alienta, his docile manso. They're tame. They're not very offensive. They're just kind of, like someone who's medicated, right? Docile companions to take more control of their lives and defy, tentar, defy, like we defy gravity, well, defy the tyrannical head nurse, la enfermera encargada, como tyrannical como a king or a queen, como de tiranía. I don't know, I think that's how you say it. Let's see, tyrannical. Tiránico. Okay, so we say tyrannical, and you say con una O, tiránico. Okay? All right, does anybody recognize the movie? Oh, man, it's awesome. The book is incredible, too. Let's see. Chris says, absolutely, Elena knocked it out of the park. No doubt about it. Elena says, thanks, guys. You're really kind. And Chris, nailing the movie. It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Uno voló sobre el nido del cuckoo, Coco. I don't know how you say that word in Spanish. All right, well, the psychiatrist says, or shrink, is there anybody that you have on your staff that could relate to him? Alguien en tu plantilla que podría relacionar con él, no entrar, llegarle. Says maybe understand him, help him out with some of these problems, echarle un cable con sus problemas. And Dr. Spivey says, well, the funny thing is that the person that he's the closest to, el más cercano, is the one he dislikes the most, el que odia más, right? And the psychiatrist says, well, sure, he understands the love-hate relationship there. And he turns to Nurse Ratched and says, that's you, Mildred. Estamos hablando de ti, Mildred. And Nurse Ratched says, well, gentlemen, in my opinion, if we send him back to Pendleton, Pendleton is the penitentiary, the jail where he came from. If we send him back to Pendleton, or we send him up to Disturbed, okay? Disturbed es ya los pacientes más serios, okay? Disturbed, perturbados. And it's just one more way of passing our problem on to somebody else. Pasando el marrón, el problema, a otro. You know, we don't like to do that. No nos gusta hacer eso. So I'd like to keep him on the ward, la ala, right? A ward or a wing of a hospital. You can say wing too. I think we can help him. And it reminds me of the phrasal verb to have it in for someone. Obviously, she has it in for him. La tiene con él. If you haven't seen the movie, check it out. And the book by Ken Kesey, oh man, it is out of this world. All right, it's time for Your Joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
All right, folks. And to wrap up our dog talk over here today, I've got some dog jokes for all you dog lovers out there, such as myself. What's a dog's favorite mode of transportation? What is a dog's favorite mode of transportation? A wagon. A wagon, un carro, una carreta. También es un coche familiar, a station wagon, una carretilla. You get the idea because it's big, it's long. So you get it? Also, mover la cola. He's wagging his tail. Wagon and wagon sound the same. You get it now? So what is a dog's favorite mode of transportation? A wagon. Moviendo la coleta, or also un coche familiar o una carretilla, estos que usan los niños. You'll always know from the context. All right, what do you call a wild dog that meditates? What do you call a wild dog that meditates? A werewolf. Oh, no. You get it? A werewolf, un hombre lobo, but also aware, consciente, un lobo consciente, a werewolf. Bueno, la primera se escribe W-E-R-E-W-O-L-F. Todo una palabra, werewolf. But I said also, it's a homophone, if you say aware, consciente, aware, a werewolf. So what do you call a wild dog that meditates? A werewolf. All right, amigos, it's time to move on to famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, number one is the writer of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He wrote the book One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. In fact, he started writing it in 1960. And, well, during this period, he was trying all kinds of drugs. Now, he says it wasn't of his own accord. It says he was involved in the government's MK Ultra program, where he was a human experiment for all these drugs. So basically, he wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest high on drugs as an experiment for the government. Wow. Doesn't that make it even more interesting? And if you read the book, wow, you get really deep inside his mind and you're like, this guy is on some serious shit. And he was. So check it out if you haven't heard about it. It's really controversial. MK Ultra. They were experimenting on willing and unwilling participants. All right, number 2, this person was born in 1968. She's an American singer-songwriter who doesn't want to be left outside alone when it's cold out here, to be left outside alone. She's got such an amazing raspy voice. I've got to say, even though I'm not a big fan of pop music, I love her tunes. I really do. And last but not least, a classic American actress who was born today in 1931, and she received an Academy Award, 3 BAFTAs, 2 Golden Globes, and she's been in so many movies. She was in The Miracle Worker. She was also in The Pumpkin Eater. She played Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate. Yeah, like the one that seduces Benjamin. Yeah, her. Yeah. And many, many more. Jesus of Nazareth, The Elephant Man. She was also in, I think with that, you should know who she is. Oh, and she was married to Mel Brooks. That's right. Talk about a funny, talented couple there. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for your classmate, Chris Valrol. Happy birthday to Ken Kesey, the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Very interesting story if you want to look into it on your own. Number 2, Anastasia, not anesthesia. And number 3, Anne Bancroft. And that's going to bring us over to our Say What soundbite. This is Anne Bancroft in the movie Fatso with Dom DeLuise, who happened to be a pleasantly plump man. You're not allowed to say Fatso anymore, I think. So either way, she says she seems like she's dog tired. Hablando del vocabulario que vimos. I hope I never have to live through last week as long as I live. Ojalá no tuviera que revivir o vivir la semana pasada hasta que muera, no en el resto de mi vida. And then the guy says, would you like a Danish? Nice and fresh. And a Danish es una persona, danés, a Danish person, but also es un brioche con pasas. Brioche? I don't know how you say it. Brioche con pasas. Un bollo danés. You can Google Danish pastry, and then you can see what you call it, or maybe you've never had it before. So he offers her a Danish. Would you like a Danish? Nice and fresh. And she goes, oh, get out of here. Fuera de aquí. My breakfast is sitting right here. And she makes a gesture to her chest. She goes, I got such agita. And the word agita is an Italian-American kind of word that we've adopted. The real word is acita. I don't know how to say it. It's acid, as you said, Elena. But agita is how the Americans have heard that word and incorporated it into the language. And it's written A-G-I-T-A, como agita. Okay? And we say agita. It's heartburn. It's ardor de tripa. All right, so this is from the movie Fatso. Here's the legendary birthday girl, Anne Bancroft.
I hope I never have to live through last week as long as I live.
Would you like a Danish? Nice and fresh?
Get out of here. My breakfast is sitting right here. I got such agita.
All right, amigos. Wonderful job. And we're going to say goodbye with Anastasia's song, Paid My Dues. We already looked at this. Paid my dues, which means hice lo que tuve que hacer, pringué. And it's got tons of other great vocabulary, but we are out of time. Thank you to all of you for joining us, and I hope you'll join us again tomorrow for more
Ciao for now. Come on.
You can say what you want about me. Try to do what you want to me. But you cannot.